Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located at either end of the counter and give it to the council clerk as soon as possible. All public comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words or actions, and comments should be limited to the issues and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call the Terrebonne Parish Council meeting Wednesday, December 21st to order. Mr. Babin, could you please lead us in a prayer followed by a pledge?
Dear Lord, we give thanks and praise to you during this holiday season. May the true spirit of Christmas touch each and every one of us deep down in our hearts and souls. We ask for the grace to reach out to those who are in need of finding the joy of Christmas. We continue to pray for peace in our lives and in this world. For these and other blessings, we offer our sincere gratitude. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Becknell, roll call.
Mr. Trusclair? Mr. Tillman? Mr. Harding?
Here.
Mr. Michaud? Mr. Amity? Ms. Domingue?
Here.
Mr. Darren Guidry?
Here.
Mr. Babin? Mr. Dirk Guidry? Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you very much. Approve the minutes of the regular council session held on November 30th, 2022. Moved by Mr. Dirk Guidry, seconded by Ms. Domingue. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Distribute minutes of the regular council session held on December 14th, 2022, which we've done. General business, presentation by parish administration relative to capital projects, including drainage, utility, road, and quality of life projects, as well as other matters relative to the operations and maintenance of parish government. Mr. Toops, do you have any presentations?
None tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Item B, Mr. Cohen Guidry, Terrebonne Economic Development Authority CEO, would like to present a status report regarding TITA projects and our programs. Mr. Guidry, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Thank you for having me. I just want to do kind of a year-end wrap-up of some of the things that we've been able to accomplish in 2022 from TITA, because there's always a lot of questions, and kind of projecting what we're going to look at in 23. I've been asked to keep it short and sweet, so if you got any questions, call me next year and I'll go over this with you. All right, real quick, so quick overview. To wrap up the Bayou Region's business organization, housing initiatives, Ida Relief building materials through New Life missions, Isle de Charles New Isle project, capital outlay, marine manufacturing facility planning and construction, Alexander Ryan maritime safety and expansion, Terrebonne industrial training and education program. So, budgets are things that's been a big topic in our group. And I just wanted to thank you all for approving the budget, hands down, very few questions. And Ms. Candace and President Dove, thank you for your trust in our group and that we're going to carry the torch and make you guys proud. You guys nearly doubled our budget for 2023, and we will do good things with that, and we will get this thing back on the right track and get everything going in the right direction. So thank you guys for that and having trust in our organization or our authority. So real quick, the 5 key donors for the money raised on this to launch the housing initiatives: Bayou Community Foundation, BHP, which has now been bought out by Woodside, Blue Cross Blue Shield Louisiana Foundation, Chevron, and Chandamiri Foundation. And a lot of people had questions about, well, who decided who got the housing? And these were the temporary campers who raised over $1 million inside of a week to do. So the decision was made by the following. We gave out over 45 campers, travel trailer style. They were purchased and delivered on site, and the decision makers was Catholic Charities from the Diocese of Houma-Thibodaux, Terrebonne Parish NAACP, the Hash Ground Association, the Halo Foundation, United Houma Nations, the Intertribal Council, Pointe-au-Chien Tribal Council, and Louisiana Sherpa Industrial Coalition. They're the ones who gave the direction of the needy families, and this was in Terrebonne and in Lafourche Parish. There were a couple as well. So, and on that, hopefully this is being televised. There still are a few we are donating these campers to people. The paperwork wasn't all done at the time of the delivery because it was, you know, a one-man band. I think Matt Rookard, my predecessor, was the guy delivering it, picking them up, delivering them, setting them up. So a lot of the titles haven't been transferred. I think there's still a few outstanding ones. So for the people who may be listening who have one of these travel trailers, we will give it to you for you to keep. Just come in and do the title transfer and the paperwork. All right, so the Ida Relief building materials through New Life Missions. So we received a very generous donation through, can you hit next? One of you? Because this, there we go. All right, so we've got some very generous donations of hospital-grade flooring from a colleague of one of our board of directors. Estimated value was about $1.2 million. So sought out, that was one of my first orders of business when I came in. We sought out a place that we could have this stored. And there was New Life Missions in Amite, Louisiana. So I went up to meet the guy, and we formed a pretty good relationship. And we did do some trade-offs of some of this floor for building materials. There were over 400 houses from materials that were provided by New Life Mission and this general donation. And we did trade off some of the flooring for a lot of the things from roofing materials, plywood, sheetrock, cabinet sinks, toilets, water heaters, flooring. You know, so over 400 houses in this parish benefited, and they're still working on that. So there's a whole nother thing we're doing with New Life Missions and some donations, because they do help not just for hurricanes, they help for tornadoes, fires, natural disasters all over the Gulf Coast. So the Isle de Charles resettlement project, as some of you were there for the initial kickoff, the state is still in charge of it and in ownership of it. They have committed to give us a corporate endeavor agreement by mid-January, and our plan is to have it reviewed and get it to them by the end of the first quarter of 2023. We are tasked with presenting an action plan for the projects once we take over management of the program and property. We do have a commitment for Community Health Center to partner with us to build a clinic on the New Isle community, which I think will be very helpful to the groups there, because most of them probably get their medical treatment on the east side at Chabert and one of those. So I think something in line with that's going to be a really good thing for them, and it'll be able to help some of the other people in that area, in Gray and in Shriver and into Thibodeau as well. So we look at it as a real big positive. We've got a $25,000 grant from Chevron for a training program that Fletcher's helped us put a curriculum together in retail, teaching some of the people who may work in the retail side of it, a retail budgeting, personal finances, and things such as that. So we're really looking forward to getting that off the ground. Retail center is currently under construction along with a community center. So we're still going to be tasked with having to have a escrow account for their homeowners insurance, possibly flood insurance, taxes, and things such as that. So we're just working out those details with the state. Capital outlay projects that came through as I think it was probably my first week here, this Senator Island and Tanner McGee and Jerome Zerang came to discuss and what they were able to accomplish and give the monies for us. So we're working with an economic development project to provide substantial job growth and opportunity in Terrebonne Parish. Project encompasses the construction of a state-of-the-art maritime manufacturing facility to compete in the United States funded maritime construction projects. The facility will be ideally suited for U.S. Coast Guard and U.S. Navy vessels and their construction programs. The facility will have cutting-edge manufactured technology in both equipment and building strategies. The proposed facility will allow Louisiana to compete against other Gulf Coast states in pursuit of U.S. government contracts for constructions. A facility of this type and capacity does not exist in the state of Louisiana today. This is something that there will probably be a combined total of near $100 million investment in Terrebonne Parish to build this facility. We have signed an NDA, for a non-disclosure agreement, so we can't really talk about who it is. Some of you probably do know and can figure it out. But this is going to bring a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunity, I think, to Terrebonne Parish. So I think it's a really good thing. We did have an international company that expanded into Houma. It's Alexander Rhine Marine Safety Company, and they do a lot of refurbishment on marine safety equipment. So the Whitaker Life Crafts and a lot of the safety stuff that are deployed from our work vessels in the Gulf of Mexico and offshore platforms, they refurb them and they do ship them all over the world. They chose Terrebonne Parish, and they chose a facility that was an idle manufacturing facility on the east side. They've interjected about $3.5 million in the project to date, and they plan on continuing to expand. And one of the things when talking to the company CEO, why did he come to South Louisiana? He said the dealings that he's had with the folks in South Louisiana over all the years that he's been in this industry is they have a can-do attitude. There's not just obstacles, they're not just problems. We could figure out a way to make it happen. And I personally have experienced that all over the world where I have been and I have worked and visited. Everybody says it starts in South Louisiana with the good people here with their can-do attitude. So that's something we should all be very proud of. One of the industrial training programs, some of the companies that we do BREs with and go and talk with them about possible expansion, what do you like, what do you dislike, what are your biggest problems? And a lot of them come back with labor force. And there's becoming a gap in our labor force, as some of you probably well know, whether it's being that they're lazy, they don't want to work, or there's people that they found something better that they can do and not in oil and gas. So I went and spoke to four of the classes at H.L. Bourgeois for a program called JAG, Jobs for American Graduates. And this is 11th and 12th graders. And realize then you're probably going to have to start a lot younger than that. But there are programs out there. So some of the larger industry companies in Terrebonne Parish have shown and spoken of a need. And so we're partnering with Fletcher, we're partnering with industry to start looking at job descriptions and curriculum and what is it that they need and incorporate it in with the vocational training program in Terrebonne Parish and see what we can do. Because not everybody's going to go to college, as you guys well know. So if we could start a program like this at, say, 9th grade, that's starting it to where they're giving them some training, whether it's to be a tacker, an electrician's helper, a rigger. And, companies, any of you who work in the industry realize it costs a company like, let's say Gulf Island, for instance, it costs them about $5,000 by the time they pay wages and put them through all the training that they need to have in order to go offshore to work as an entry-level position. And that person gets out there and realizes they're afraid of heights, or they don't want to work because they miss their mom, their wife, or what have you, and they drag up or they quit. That's $5,000 that company will never get back. So looking at some of the programs and how we can incorporate grants for training and things like that would ease some of that burden. And they're pretty excited about it, and they're going to have the firsthand input of trying to put this program, the curriculum together. And I have not been switching while I've been working. So the Bayou Business Recovery Network relaunch program, this is some monies that was allocated pre-COVID, and we've been able to get some extensions for these programs. And there's some of the social media seminars for small business owners, a conversational Spanish, and then there is a contracting 3-part general contractor, residential contractor, and business law grant that'll pay for each one of those, and each one of those are about $350. So trying to get the word out to the community to let them know that these programs are available and to get people enrolled so we can use up all the money. But we did get a 1-year extension on all of it. And if you guys have any questions, contact me, call me, come see me after the first. Yes, sir.
We do have some lights. Mr. Trosclair?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Corey, look, I don't really have a question. I just want to tell you I really appreciate, and I'm sure the rest of my colleagues here do, the aggressive energy you've brought to TITA. It appears that with the presentation, which is a well put together presentation tonight, that TITA is actually moving our parish forward, and that's what we need to do. So keep up the good work, and I really appreciate everything you're doing. Your presence is undying. You don't miss anything. So that's refreshing to see somebody with that kind of energy come in and take over this position. So thanks a lot. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much for that. And look, every day I'm here, I learn more and more and more. It's the acronyms that get you. So once I get it figured out, then I get to put it in high speed. But thank you guys for your support. Each and every one of you,
We have some more questions.
in one way, shape, or form, have contacted me and given me your support. And I really appreciate it.
Mr. Harding.
Yes, good evening. It's a pleasure to see you, and I was happy that we did give some extra funding. It's only some points really while you're there to highlight some of my attendance into some of the meetings, and those trailers, to reiterate on those trailers, those are only trailers that were actually specifically purchased by you guys, right?
Yes, sir.
None of the other trailers that's going in Terrebonne Parish, nothing like that. We're not giving them away. We want to make that point clear over the air right now. So the phones, Chris and all of us up here saying, well, they're giving trailers away, and we're not giving trailers away. And I'm pretty sure y'all got a format for that.
Sorry for not making that crystal clear. I apologize for that.
Okay, and also, I had this as we were going down. We have 3 terms that are coming up with Tita, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so therefore, we really need to have that taken care of, because we've been looking for bright and business-minded people to really participate with Tita. You also mentioned with that was a community center to be built in the Shreveport area with the transitioning of those folks from now to John Charles.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. So that's going to be within perhaps me and Mr. Amadei's area.
Yes, sir. We'll have to work out the details because we don't have any of those figured out yet. Getting back to the 3 expired terms, that's we will have changed out 6 people on my board of directors by September, and I only have 9 people on the board. So it's certainly been a task, and I want to thank Ms. Tammy and her group. They have been so supportive in helping me get through this and understand legislature and our bylaws and what we can and what we can't do. But we are aggressively approaching it. We're looking after things, trying to recruit and pick the right people that want to be here, not just put it on their resume or hold down a seat and don't attend but 3 or 4 meetings a year. So there's not many people knocking at the door begging to get in, but we're certainly aggressively looking. So.
Yeah, and that's generally held at a lunch hour. I'm not one of those guys that go there for a lunch, but then there's 2 other important things that I thought that was mentioned there. It's the fact that those jobs, and that is in one of the meetings I attended there, that was a problem. Whether we'll get people here, they even mentioned bringing people from other places to actually try to come here to have some work done, and that's a bright idea to actually go to get the skilled labor people like the plumbers, electricians, all those folks, because we've lost that, and aggressively trying to approach that. And finally, if you read about Tita in our budget and finance book, it states specifically what you just finished outlaying right there. If anyone want to know what you're doing and how you're doing it, actually your presentation, like Steve had said, was a wonderful presentation. I admire your work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carley. Thank you very much.
Ms. Domingue?
Yeah, thank you, Cohen. And once again, I'll just echo everybody's sentiments. You're doing a great job. We really appreciate you. Your presence is seen all over. I mean, everywhere I go and every meeting that I attend, you're in attendance as well. And so you're absolutely, getting out there and learning and seeing what the needs of the parish are. And so I appreciate that. But one thing you failed to mention is that you've had a seat at the table on our downtown revitalization efforts as well. And so I want to just put my hat off to you on that, because you've absolutely been an integral part of that process, which is going to be moving forward also. And so everything else you talked about, we're very excited about. But I just wanted to note that you also have been very instrumental in that as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And myself is my least favorite topic to talk about. So.
And from the chair, of course, you know, we appreciate what you all do. We appreciate that Tita did the travel trailers, which, you know, that's not exactly you guys' mission, but, you know, I think we're well on place for the mission that you guys do have, which is that three-legged stool, which is what? Retain business we have here.
Recruiting.
Get them to expand and bring in new businesses. And I think you know, I know you've only been in there a short while, but I'm looking for good things because I think we've got the right person at the helm, so.
Well, I appreciate your vote of confidence, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry.
Thank you.
Make a motion to add on items C and D.
We have a motion to add on items C and D. Item C would be to introduce an ordinance to amend ordinance number 9368 to establish and define the Terrebonne Parish Council boundaries and provide for other related matters thereto, and calling a public hearing Wednesday, July 11th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. And the D would be to introduce an ordinance to amend ordinance number 9369 to establish and define the Terrebonne Parish visible precinct boundaries and provide for other matters relative thereto, and call a public hearing Wednesday, January 11th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. It was seconded by Mr. Harding. All in favor, say aye. Oh, yes. Good. Do we have any public that wants to weigh in of whether or not we should or should not add these two items onto the agenda? Public once. Public twice. Third time public. We have a motion to close. Mr. Michel, seconded Mr. Harding. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Then we have a motion and a second to add on. All in favor say aye. Aye. What is that? Well, is anybody against it? There you go. Nobody against it, so it's added on. Item C was to introduce the ordinance number 9368 to establish and define Terrebonne Parish Council District boundaries and provide for other related matters thereto, and call a public hearing Wednesday, January 11th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Do we have a motion to introduce that ordinance?
Motion.
Motion, Ms. Domang, seconded by Mr. Trosclair. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then D is to introduce an ordinance to amend ordinance number 9369 to establish and define the Terrebonne Parish visible precinct boundaries and provide for other matters relative thereto, and call a public hearing Wednesday, January 11th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Move, Ms. Domang. Second, Mr. Trosclair. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those two ordinances are introduced. Item 2, public wish to address the council. We don't have any speaker cards. Item 3, committee reports, Community Development and Planning Committee. Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on December 19, 2022, and have no public hearings.
A motion by Mr. Trosclair, seconded by Mr. Dirk Guidry. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B, Budget and Finance Committee. Mr. Carl Harding.
Yes, sir. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee meeting held on December 19th, 2022. I have no public hearings.
Motion, Mr. Harding, seconded Mr. Trosclair. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 4, street lights installations, removals, and/or activations. As per by Mr. Michel.
Second.
Seconded Ms. Domang. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 5, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. Recreation District Number 4 Board, 2 expiring terms. On January 29th, 2023, Mr. Lawrence Goche Jr. expresses his interest in being reappointed, and Ms. Pamela Carlos expresses her interest in being reappointed.
Open, close, and appoint.
Motion to open, close, and appoint, Mr. Babin. Seconded by Mr. Harding. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B, the Fire Protection District Number 4 Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Mr. Marty Terrio expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Open, close, and appoint Mr. Terrio and hold the other one over.
Motion by Mr. Babin to open, close, and appoint Mr. Terrio and hold the second one over. Seconded by Mr. Harding. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item C, Fire Protection District Number 6 Board, 3 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Mr. Alcee Dupree Jr. expresses his interest in being reappointed, and Ms. Marietta Ellender expresses her interest in being reappointed, and Ms. Michelle Chassaw expresses her interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and appoint Mr. Dupree, Ms. Allender, and Ms. Chasson.
Motion by Mr. Trosclair to open, close, and appoint Ms. Dupree, Ellender, and Chassaw, seconded by Mr. John Amity. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item D, Fire Protection District Number 7 Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Mr. Jude Landry expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and reappoint Mr. Landry and hold the other vacancy.
Motion to open, close, appoint Mr. Landry and hold the second by Mr. Dirk Guidry, seconded by Mr. Steve Trosclair. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item E, Fire Protection District Number 9 Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1, 2023. Mr. Terry Breaux expresses his interest in being reappointed. Mr. Charles Dusenberry expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Open, close, and appoint. Reappoint.
Motion by Mr. Babin to open, close, and reappoint, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Items F, Coteau Fire Protection District Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023, and 1 expired term. Mr. Ivy DeRoche Jr. expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and reappoint Mr. DeRoche and hold the others.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Amity to open, close, and appoint Mr. DeRoche and hold the other openings, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Schriever Fire Protection District, 3 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Mr. Daniel F. Leday Jr. expresses his interest in being reappointed.
Motion to open, close, and appoint Mr. Leday, reappoint Mr. Leday and hold the other 2.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Amity to open, close, and appoint Mr. Leday and hold the other 2 openings, seconded by Mr. Carl Harding. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Village East Fire Protection District Board, 1 expiring term on January 1st, 2023. Mr. Nigel L. Hodgson expresses his interest in being reappointed. Motion by Mr. Tillman to open, close, and appoint Mr. Hodgson, seconded by Mr. Trosclair. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item I, South Central Planning Board, 1 vacancy due to resignation. Parish President Gordon E. Dove recommends the ratification of his appointment. Mr. Cohen Guidry. Motion by Mrs. Michel to open, close, and appoint Mr. Guidry, seconded by Mr. Harding. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item J, the Bayou Blue Fire Protection District, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023, and 1 expired term. Mr. Andrew J. Blanchard expresses his interest in being reappointed. Motion by Mr. Trosclair to open, close, and appoint Mr. Blanchard and hold the other 2, seconded by Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 6, vacancies to various boards, committees, and commissions that are open. Recreation District Number 1 Board, 1 expiring term on January 14th, 2023. Recreation District Number 4 Board, 1 expiring term on January 29th, 2023. Recreation District Number 5 Board, 1 expiring term on December 26, 2022, and 1 on January 14th, 2023. Fire Protection District Number 4 Board, 1 expiring term on January 1st, 2023. Fire Protection District 5 Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Fire Protection District Number 7 Board, 1 expiring term on January 1st, 2023. Fire Protection District Number 8 Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023, and 1 expired term. Fire Protection District Number 10 Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Bayou Blue Fire Protection District Board, 1 expired term. Bayou Cane Fire Protection District Board, 3 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Coteau Fire Protection District Board, 1 expiring term on January 1st, 2023, and 1 expired term. Schriever Fire Protection District Board, 2 expiring terms on January 1st, 2023. Home of Terrebonne Public Trust Finance, 1 expiring term on December 26th, 2022, and 1 expired term. Terrebonne Economic Development Authority, 3 expired terms. Monthly Engineering Reports, GIS Engineering. As per by Mr. Steve Trosclair, seconded by Mr. Michel. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Announcements, Parish President, Mr. Toops, do you have anything?
Want to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from President Dove and his administration.
Thank you, Mr. Tukes. Ms. Domingue.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As we all know, we're about to experience some significant weather that we normally don't experience in Terrebonne Parish. So Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government is opening a cold weather shelter from December 23rd through the 26th. If anyone is in need of shelter, they can call 266-0143 to schedule an intake appointment before tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And that's really important because after tomorrow at 3 o'clock, they will no longer be accepting intake appointments. And this is for anyone experiencing homelessness or living in RVs or campers. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Domingue. And if you will be traveling and would like to know the status of the road closings, you can download an app called 511 Louisiana, the number 511 Louisiana, and it's the DOTD app, and it will show you which roads are closed and which roads are open. Mr. Michel.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Mr. Jules and Chairman Darren Guidry for the opportunity to have attended these meetings in Zoom for the last several months. And I'm grateful to be back here. And I'd like for you, please, to remember people in their prayers, because there are a lot of people who are suffering with cancer and with other illnesses, especially during these holidays, and they need our prayers. And also, many of them may need our blood. So for those of you who are able, please give blood. And if you're not in need, then be just so thankful and try to help them out. And also to everyone, I'd like to wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas and just express how much I appreciate all of the support I've been given over these past months. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Michel. I'm glad to have you here. And just a reminder, January 17th, they will begin the installation of the new technology here in our council chambers, which will upgrade us to high definition, a better experience for our constituents who are watching our meetings. Seeing no other business, do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion adjourned by Mr. Trosclair, second to Mr. Amity. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.